Hello, everyone. Super excited to be here for the second year in a row. Hopefully, this event will last for another few thousand years as the first iteration. I'm a partner at Marathon Venture Capital, which is a local seed fund, where we're backing founders, building important companies. And as you can understand, starting a company and a startup in Greece, it sounds a bit exotic, right? I guess, who is not Greek here? OK. Who's not based in a major startup hub, right, like San Francisco or London or New York? Raise your hand. Oh, everybody else is in a major startup hub? OK. Then this presentation is not for you, but it's going to be interesting from an anthropological point of view. So I'm in the very good company of two founders, Fotis Dimeas, CEO of Progressive Robotics, a company automating the very hard parts of industrial robotics based in Thessaloniki. Maybe you have heard it, maybe not. And George Palaigeorgiou, who's the founder and CPO at LearnWorlds. LearnWorlds is a major company that helps people and companies offer, market, and sell online courses. It's a company that makes more than 30 million in revenue and has also has investments from the likes of Inside Partners, one of the major funds in the world, and he's based in Kavala. Who knows Kavala? OK, so I guess it's predominantly a Greek audience. So guys, you're based in very outside of any major hub, startup or even corporate, right, where not many good corporate jobs exist. And both of you used to be in academia and the university, right? So I guess in such places, being in academia is a very good job for this kind of minor hubs, right? What made you quit? What made you quit and venture for the unknown?
Fotis, would you like?
Yeah, we had a discussion before about that. What made us quit the university? So my story was 10 years in academia, PhD, research, but something inside me was itching me, OK? So I was doing nice things with robots, but the biggest problem is that we were finding solutions, and then we were searching for the problems to apply these solutions, OK? A completely twisted way. But this is how it usually works in academia. Salary was OK, but it had to do with the impact. I mean, at some point, when my first child was born, I said, what am I doing here? I have to do something about it. And at some point, I met my co-founder, and I told him, let's do it. And that's what made us quit academia. I mean, there was no outside factor or anything outside that pushing. Let's say, let's do it. Everyone was telling us the opposite.
I think, I always tend to say that doing a startup, it's not about money. Because most likely you will never make money as a startup. That's, basic statistics. But it's an existential issue for someone. Like, you see the problem, and your identity is to solve the problem. What about you, George?
I have a similar story, but I think the difference between research and startup and entrepreneurship is not so big. So essentially, you have the same life cycle. You have a problem, you want to solve it, you have to do research, you have to make some results. And what differs is the product, what differs is the way that you evaluate this stuff, but the life cycle is the same. So we were in the university for serving this life cycle, this way of thinking. I have a problem, I want to solve that. We were all son of teachers, PhDs in education and technology. Learning was the main motivation for us. We were passionate about that, and we were passionate about that. That's why we've done research. So that's how we said, OK, let's go from the research stage, not to produce products for research and only reasons and publications, but for the real audience. So that's how we did the shift, and it was an easy shift, because essentially until today, we're doing the same exactly thing. We want to bring impact in education through our, let's say, applied research.
OK. So I think the next question applies equally to everybody not living in a major startup hub. Everywhere. It can be Bratislava, Cairo, or I don't know, Porto, or even Des Moines in the US. People, they fall in love with a problem and the industry they want to work in. But working on a problem and building a product and building a business is very different, right? So how do you go about being based in Thessaloniki, which is not known for its robotic installations or robotic industry, to discover exactly what is the problem within the robotics industry that you have to solve, and it's the one that's going to unlock major international markets.
Yeah. So when we got out of university, we had still the academic mindset. Let's solve every problem in the world, okay, with robotics. We had our focus in manufacturing and logistics. We knew about robotic arms, doing palletizing, putting boxes on pallets. And we started searching for the problems by talking to customers, okay? And this is what really started, this is when our mindset started changing. When we talked after 50 or 60 interviews with people around Greece and outside Greece, this is when we started to understand, okay, that what we had in mind is not really true, okay? It's entirely different. When you start talking to people in the shop floor, not just the owners of the factory, but the people working on the shop floor and moving heavy stuff all day long. So this is where you try to understand the problems, and when people start using a solution, then you understand the other problems as well. So we were lucky enough to find our first customer in Thessaloniki. Okay. So we found our unicorn, just this one, and it's still the first customer, the only customer we have in Greece.
All you need is like one believer.
Yeah, only one. You just need one to start. And when you start and you build something and you put it out there and it works, then other people start to pay attention to what you have built, and then they want it.
I think, George, you have a similar story. So the question is like, you start university, you build stuff in the void, essentially, and then you build something 10 years later that resonates with a pastor in the United States that he wants to teach his pupils how to talk to God, right? It's not exactly any person you have ever met.
There is also another course, how to talk to God too.
Directly.
Yes. I think when you want to build something like that, you start with a problem which we have to resonate and be passionate with. You need to live and breathe about this problem. If you are just wanting to make a startup without resonating with the problem, probably that's going to be a failure. And there is a nice question about whether it's better to start from Kavala, Thessaloniki, Athena, or New York. Because from my point of view, I think it's better to start from the country because you are not distracted. You are not distracted from fashionable events like this one, which might also create other thoughts about what that means and so on. You are only focused on the problem. You are only focused on how you are going to build your business, understand the customers. And a nice thing that comes from there is you don't have audience. You don't have even one customer. We are happy not to have in Thessaloniki a customer, and our first customer were from US. And then we learned that US people and customers are way more prone and willing to talk with proof of concepts. They value a lot more people that develop the product and not people that have ready products. They love to be in touch with you and co-develop the product. It was way more better for us to have our first customer in the US because we weren't in Athens or Thessaloniki.
How did you get to find him?
It's easy. It's internet. Come on.
Internet, yeah.
It's just the organic PPC. There are so many channels.
Did you find them or did they find you?
They found us. They found us.
So you're not using the Instagram exclusively to scroll on Instagram, you mean, right?
No, of course not.
You can use the internet to reach out to people.
Exactly.
Wow. That's crazy. Foti, again, let's go back to Thessaloniki. As we said, it's not like a hotbed of robotic innovation so far. So,
not yet.
How big of a team of engineers you can build at Thessaloniki? I mean, it's not that ABB or KUKA is next door, so you're going to hire these engineers, right? So how do you go about building the first engineering team, and how big you think you can get it just in Thessaloniki, or you have also at some point to hire in other locations and major hubs?
It's true. When you start, if you were able to find the big talents, the robotic engineers, to put them on the first hires, that would be perfect. We didn't have this luck in Thessaloniki. There were other companies there, but we had some co-workers, okay, who are bright minds, people doing their PhD, their master thesis in the university, and they knew the theory quite well, okay? So these were our first, let's say, believers, and I managed to convince 3 of them, stop what you're doing, let's build something, okay? But this is the first team, okay? You build the first 5, 10 people. But the question is, how do you scale, okay? So now we are a team of 20, and we managed to hire 3 or 4 guys from Athens, they moved to Thessaloniki.
Brain drain, yeah.
Yeah, brain gain Thessaloniki, because I believe in 100% on-site work, particularly when dealing with robots. And we were lucky enough to bring some minds from Greek guys from who were living in Zurich, in Netherlands, to quit their jobs there and come and live in Thessaloniki.
Yeah, and I will make another comment, like the first people that work in Progressive or any such startup, they don't have the industry expertise, so they can actually innovate. They don't have the tunnel vision, right? And I think most importantly, they have things to prove, which is, I think, the most important ingredient for a startup. It's not that, you make great presentations or you make some good money. You are there because you want to prove things to yourself first and then to the others that, yes, we can do it. So, George, you have a company where the founders, 3 founders based in Kavala, Chania, and Larnaca. I guess most Americans have never heard of the cities, right? But you managed,
Chania,
okay,
Chania,
yeah. But you managed to build now a new executive suite with SVPs and senior people from places and companies like Mixpanel and SurveyMonkey, and you persuade them to work for 3 people that are scattered somewhere there. How did you do it? How these people, when they take the next career move, they want to work for these people that are somewhere there?
I think geography is overestimated in this specific question. First of all, we were remote ready. From day 1, 2011, the company was born remote. So everything is remote. These people are looking for companies that are remote ready because they are going to work from London, from Madrid, from Barcelona, and so on. The second thing is that results matter. So the only thing that they are looking for is a company that grows, it's in the right field, it's in a field that attracts them, and has opportunities and growth. And they do know that geography doesn't matter on that. And the third thing is that you have to understand in each phase that you are hiring people, who is the best fit for you. For example, us in this area of 20, 30, 40 ARR, we can get people from big companies like Slack, and we had candidates from Slack, Synthesia, and every big company, because these creative guys created these big companies, they cannot stand anymore the politics, the bureaucracy of these companies, and they look for companies like ours, which is authentic, which is passionate, and they want to bring back the spark to their life, and that's what they are looking for. So we are here in the best possible position to bring the best. And that's not even, I would say, again, it's an advantage to be, in exotic places.
Cool. Fotis, you are operating in the actual world, right? So you get actual robots in Thessaloniki where you test them and, you retrofit them, and then you have to ship them somewhere in Germany. Do you think sometimes this is too much to handle? Like all this complex operation, or you're feeling confident that, being based in Thessaloniki is the absolute best for you?
That's what we signed up for, right? So you have to build something, physical thing, here, big thing, and then you have to load it to a truck to move it to the factory. So it doesn't really matter if the truck travels 3 hours away or 3 days away. But in order to put this on the side, you first have to sell it. So the biggest obstacle is how you can convince someone in Germany to trust a startup they've never heard of from Thessaloniki.
How do you do it?
Well, that's a tough one, okay? So they have to find you. If you try to find them, you have to cross some roadblocks first. But if they find you, they have done their research, they know their problem, and they saw that the only company that is solving this problem is this small company in Thessaloniki. So at this stage, it's the only way to do sales.
You're not saying everything because you get these customers to come to Thessaloniki, and then you have all these tavernas next to your office where you take them for seafood and ouzo. So it makes things easier.
This is where we signed the deal after the
Exactly.
second.
So George, I think one very important to scaling a business is to be culturally relevant. Like the words you're using on your website, the words you're using when you're in a public stand, right? And you can see that, we as Europeans and sometimes the Americans, the difference in this storytelling is huge. How about, you managed to evolve from addressing like few customers to be able as a company to have a huge pipeline, mostly from the United States? What is the transformation where the way things you are presenting them, they resonate with people and they just sign up without any second thoughts?
It's only about learning. It's only about have the passion to learn, be humble, understand the market, and read the market. So for us, because this is how we feel today in LearnWorlds, despite our size, every day we are thinking that we are reborn. So we have to learn. So the thing that we are doing, for example, right now we have built an AI system that we have recorded all the transcripts from full sales, CSM, support, everything. We have created a system where we talk with the customers and we learn from them. So what's the difference, Pano, between having a customer in Berlin and US? We have customers in 170 countries.
Oh.
So you have to learn. So it's not difficult. It wasn't difficult. We are trying to analyze the signals. That's the focus. How you read, analyze, again, from a humble perspective, the signals, understand what you miss, and focus on that and deliver. That's it.
Do you highlight any cultural differences when talking to customers in Brazil, which I know is a big market, the US or Southeast Asia? Is it like something that can unlock somewhere in other geographies?
It's a different world. It's different worlds. For example, our conversion rate in Brazil and India is 2%. In US, is 15%. In France, is 9%. In Greece, it's 2%.
We don't have money.
As you understand,
don't
we're
ask for
talking
money.
to different audiences with different characteristics. You have to do a localization marketing strategy, a localization strategy in your product, and you have to deliver and combine all of that stuff so as to grow internationally.
So next question, and be brutally honest. So you're sending your pitch deck to investors, which you don't have to do anymore. But anyway, you did it at some point. Did you think or did you feel that there was a bias where the address was Thessaloniki or somewhere in the Balkans?
Well, you will tell us because you saw our pitch deck.
Yeah, but I go to invest first. So.
What I can tell that after you saw our pitch deck, and next day you took the flight, you came to our basement, and the day after you sent us the contract. So we have seen it happening. Mostly in the US investors. There are some obstacles like bureaucracy. I mean, how should I invest in this Greek company? I don't know any Greek laws or something like that. But okay, we can find a work around that. We can create a company. But I see it with customers. I try not to talk to investors unless I really have to, okay? So let's try to focus on my customers. So I want to, okay, now we are building something, we have to sell it, we have to talk to customers, and yeah, at some point, it really starts making a difference when you jump on the plane and go to the site where the customer is or where the investor is, and you give them the signs. So, okay, I'm not just fixed in Thessaloniki, I can be wherever I have to be.
I think it's a less relevant question as time goes, right? Because you are seeing more and more companies from everywhere, but we have to be sincere. In the beginning, it is a disadvantage because you always come with a question, how is this guy from Kavala can build an international company? We have employees in 15 countries. So how is this guy from Kavala and from Chania can build something like that?
The thing is that you have to prove it. If you come from an unknown geography, this guy was not in Stanford, not a former Facebook, Uber, or OpenAI, so there's no social credibility. So you have to show that you actually have results first.
Exactly. That's the prerequisite. We need to show results first.
Or you raise local money, right? First.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
You didn't give us the money without the proof, just to be sincere.
You didn't want it in the beginning. Okay, so if you were a founder again, or someone here is a founder in Thessaloniki and someone is from Kavala. Anyone from Kavala? Anyone from Thessaloniki? Okay. Do you tell them to stay in Thessaloniki and give it a try, or you tell them like to pack and go somewhere else?
So this was the guy that put the spark in me there. So I don't think it really matters, okay? If you want to do it, you will do it from anywhere in the world, okay? It doesn't really matter.
I would say that you should stay where you are, but there is a first phase of the company where you have to be exposed. You have to learn. You have to talk. We have to talk with other co-founders. You have to learn from mistakes. You have to pitch. You have to learn how others are succeeding, why the others failing, and so on. So I would say for the very first phase, you need, as we've done, we were traveling, if you remember, in Athens, in Thessaloniki, in competitions all around the world, just to learn. So you just have to do in the first phase this thing. Afterwards, you don't need anything. You can be in Kavala, you can be in Chania, in Chalkida, in Larissa, and do whatever you can imagine.
But you should never stop learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so essentially, the airport is your house.
Yes, exactly.
Especially, I don't know, to your spouses, you know, it is what it is. There's no other way. So yeah, if you're starting from unlikely locations, be ready to spend a lot of time in the planes. If you have any, you know, fear about flying, maybe, maybe that's a big impediment for you. So going to be a bit earlier, just to make, you know, the schedule easier for everybody else. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to your companies being built in from unlikely places.